Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Tales. I'm Anthony, I'm your host. Now, I'm going to make this really, really quick because you can hear my voice is pretty much garbage. I've been getting over a cold the last several days, and I'm posting this a day after, but this evening is the night of my birthday. I'm officially 40. Now I can be lumped in with the rest of the Amico fans as being 40-year-old people. Still don't live in the basement, though, but whatever. So, a couple of announcements. First, a quick summary of the anniversary video for the channel. Channel has been around for 1 year since March 3rd. Where are we going? Here's the important parts. Gaming concepts are put on hold. My computer is busted. This is my wife's computer. I'm borrowing this to do work on the heart of the channel, which is storytelling. This is for Troll Slayer, but this is also something more, and I'll get to this in just a moment. And where did the channel go in like the last 6 months or so? I have a medical condition. It's psychological. I'm getting treated for it. I'm doing much better, and a lot of that is thanks to some very, very good friends, the support of a loving wife, and of course, learning about my heritage has actually been a huge help. It's helped clarify and give me some directions, and it also has taught me a few things about how I interact with what's been going on in the Amico community, including, I think it's a rule 2 in what's called the Viking Warrior Code. I got it sitting right here somewhere, which is be loyal to your friends. That's all I'm going to say about that right now because I'm doing this as a quicker video. Now, so you can expect a focus on the story. Now, the good news there is I have decided on how to streamline the art for it, which means Troll Slayer, the opening, the first part, is going to be coming very, very soon. And as soon as my throat clears up and my sinuses clear up, I'll be getting to the narration for that. I've already got a segment of the recording done. I just got to get the narration in there. So I look forward to presenting that very soon, and then getting through the first chapters real quick, because the first community vote for the direction of the story is in part 1, directly after the opening. Maybe part 2, depending on how I split it, but it's basically part 1 in my head as far as how I would write a chapter normally. So, as I mentioned, the gaming stuff's going to be put on hold. Computer's broken. Now, if you guys want to talk about the concept of Paper Ninja or the other stuff, I will gladly talk about it in detail. I just won't be able to do any real work on it. My wife uses this computer for her schoolwork, so it's rare that I get to use it. Most of my stuff is done during break time on a public access computer. So that is what it is. And of course, the third thing is, can you still expect some Amico stuff along with some random stuff? Absolutely. I've learned I really enjoy sharing what's important to me, and learning about my Nordic heritage is extremely important to me. So let's talk about this real quick. So in classical times, like the Viking era, if you weren't basically a Viking, because Vikings, there were some female Vikings. If you weren't a Viking or a shield maiden, right, and you didn't have a shield, you were considered not all quite there. People questioned your rationality when it came into coming into combat with a shield. Shields were standard for the culture, it seems, and they were given as decorations, and they were given as awards and so forth. So I did some research, and it turns out there was a huge amount of shields that were recovered from a location called Galkstead. Hopefully I pronounced that location right, where they got all sorts of measurements and so forth on how these shields were actually made, and they range from as small as like 30 inches across to as much as like 37 or more. So what I've decided to do, especially since they passed laws in the classical times on how to properly build a shield for military use, that's how serious the shield was, is I'm going to make a shield. Because what Nord wouldn't have a shield? But my wife has taken an interest, so she's asked for a wall decoration. So I'm going to start by making her a shield, and then I'll be making me a shield. And I got a special announcement, so stay with me real quick. So this is kind of a mock-up layout, right? So shields were basically planks that were put together, And then the law was passed later, even though there's no physical evidence of it, there's literary evidence of it, that they allowed laminated or plywood in double layers to make the shield. And of course, then there was an iron or steel boss in the center to protect the hand. It was a single hand grip. It was used for parrying and so forth, actually. Um, Now, in the case of my wife, because she has no intention of lugging the shield around, a flat back is going to work with mounts on either side, so she can hang it on the wall. The actual shield was made with support struts. The laws actually say of iron, but of course that was more costly. And then of course a hand grip that worked as a support strut, and then of course your hand would go here around the boss. Now down here are some color mock-ups for my wife. She really likes what's called the Web of Weird, WYRD. It has to do with the Norns and the fates and the choices of life and that sort of thing. It's a pretty interesting concept. So these are kind of the mock-ups here. But I went a step further for her, and I made her a 3D model. Let's see if I can, there we go. So made her a 3D model. She likes the idea of like metallic green paints and so forth. So I can just turn it here. So there you go. On the back, you got the little stud markings for that. So you can tell I'm having fun with this. It turns out that generally the cost of materials and so forth to do this is not that bad. And I've got a Sawzall, so I should have the power tools I need to actually carve the wood down. I like the idea of what's called chamfered. It's a way of thinning out the shield so it's lighter and thinner on the edges versus the center. I think that was actually designed both for deflection and for lightness. But here comes the fun announcement. So if this goes well, I've had people at work and so forth say, hey, I'd pay you for that. And I started thinking about all the kindness people have shown me. So, for example, Atari Creep has sent me a gift, which is a prototype of his television stand. He's talked to me directly about my condition. He's talked to me several times offline, and actually has gone above and beyond treating me with when I won his competitions and so forth. He's talked to me offline. He's talked to me offline. All these people here have been friends, and there's more friends out there. I didn't have the time to do mock-ups for all of them, but it occurred to me, how cool would it be if I took each of their logos and made it into a Viking shield, potentially usable, and then send it to them. I know it's gonna be costly, and I know that my wife's gonna be like, "What are you doing?" But I just think it's a really cool idea. So if any of you guys are watching this, let me know what you think. But yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna post it. Happy 40th to me. A lot of big things going on today. NLG's got a show going on later tonight. Um, but yeah, so that's what's going on. So you'll get more sharing videos like this, of course. It's gonna be a focus of storytelling. The opening of Troll Slayer is coming soon. I'll see. Maybe I'll try and get a teaser up if my voice clears up, because I do have the opening segment and the intro done to the opening. There will be fan votes for this one because you guys get to decide what direction the story is going to go in. And yeah, if you're interested in talking about the game concepts and that sort of thing, let me know. I'll gladly find time to talk about them. I just won't be able to actually work on them in any real meaningful way. So with that being said, stay foxy, people. TwoTales out.